here today. Well, I'm not going to tarry. We've got a full agenda. We have our bankers forum today, so I'm going to bring Barry up and introduce our speakers for today. We've got 5, so we're going to have a full day.
Welcome, everyone. I don't think that if you haven't noticed, we've got the financial sector cornered here right now. And these people have a lot of information for us, so when I get in front of a microphone, I like to talk, but I'm not going to do that today. I'm going to give them a real quick introduction and hold your applause, and then we're going to talk about, for just a moment, what they're going to talk about. Down here on this end, James Watson with WestBanco. Got Darren Logs, Grant Simpson with Citizens Union Bank. Got Eric Whalen with West Point Bank, and Ray Springsteen with Fort Knox Federal Credit Union. Thank you. Whenever we have these forums, one of the things that we always talk about is what are things that these folks would like the business community to know, and they have a chance to tell them. That's what I ask them. I'll say, talk about some of those kind of things. Talk about what's going on in our region. Talk about what you think business owners and business supporters should know. So that's what's getting ready to happen. I'm going to stand in the back of the room. Each of them have 3 to 5 minutes or so to chat with us. Then we'll have questions afterwards. And for you guys, I'll be back there. When I raise my hand, that'll mean you're on your last minute. So, all right, James, come on up and get us started.
All right, so as he said, I'm James Watson. I'm the Senior Vice President, Senior Commercial Lender for WestBanco. So I'm very flattered to be able to be here today and really look forward to this because it's a way for us to impart some information to you guys that, just as Barry said, the things that we see, or at least that I see, I guess I should speak for myself and not say we, the things that I see that I would love to be able to educate people on and maybe curtail some issues for people beforehand, and I think that's probably the best advice that I could give to the room. You know, obviously a small business owner has passion, right? When I think about that type of loan, it's always the passion that comes through to me that really sticks out. All too often they have passion and no money, right? And that in itself is the problem. So there's some planning that has to take place beforehand. And one of the largest, there's 2 things that I've seen a lot in the past couple years that we're seeing in our community. One is that they haven't prepared financially. And the second thing is that they're so passionate about what they want to do, but they sometimes mistake that passion for marketability. So just because you love your service or just because you love your product, does the rest of the community, and does it fit here, and will it be sustainable, and will it sustain your lifestyle and sustain the business? And sometimes our judgment gets clouded because we love what we do to such an extent, whatever that product or service is. So lots of times someone, and I think each one of us probably have seen that, someone sitting before us that is so excited to start up this business, but those of us that are from this community and surrounding communities can take a step back and think, wait a minute, we're not ready for that, or you have too much competition for that, or what's going to set you apart. So you have to have that one singular niche for you. So as far as planning, you know, my background before I started into banking, my background was in public accounting. So to me, the very first thing that a small business owner should invest in is a quality CPA. So one of the things I have seen lately that's been a problem for me just in the past month is I've got a borrower that has expensed so many capital improvements in the past year that really should have been capitalized and therefore depreciated. But instead, because they didn't have an accountant that knew how to do that, they were expensing that off. Completely skews the bottom line, puts me in a position where I can't help them without them making some adjustments to that. So the first thing I think anyone needs is a good CPA to guide them through that path, along with a good banker. And as far as bringing money to the table, we all know there are a lot of options there. Sure, you've got to have some skin in the game, right? You've got to have some nest egg there to get you started, but there's small business association. There's lots of things that can help you on the front end get started. Also partnerships. You know, sometimes I think people get so singularly minded with trying to get their vision to the table and their business open that they don't think about reaching out to other people that might agree with them on that vision. And maybe that person has a missing component, whether it be a financial component or a management component, they can also add to the team and strengthen your business startup and elevate you to a quicker platform faster. And lastly, the last thing that I see is growth. Sometimes growth that's too fast. And again, it comes back to that passion. You're so passionate about getting your business to what you saw to start with. You want that big building and that big sign, and you want it to be so busy, but you don't think about what necessarily it takes to get there. You're willing to do the hard work, but that also comes back to that accountant again. How many widgets do you have to make to pay for that shiny new building that you really want? And what does your profit margin need to be on those widgets to get there to pay for that building? So again, I think it comes back to that quality CPA. And also, we should also not forget about an attorney. You're going to need one of those as well. So to protect yourself, protect the assets of the business, and to make sure you're on the right track with filings and that you're set up in the correct stature for your program or product. But those are some of the things that I see, and I know we're going to open this up to a Q&A, and you guys will get to bombard us with a lot of awesome quality questions. But those are a few of the things that I see, and I just kind of wanted to get the ball rolling with those things and talk about those and give that guidance, in my opinion, for what that's worth. That again, I think thinking about your vision and making sure that it is marketable, not just do you love it, because it takes that passion. We all know a small business owner is probably the hardest working individual out there. They put in more hours and they're living that business day and night. But the passion alone won't necessarily get you there, but it is a darn good start. So thank you all for allowing me to speak this morning, or this afternoon rather, and I'll turn this over to Darren. It looks like you're next.
For those of you who don't know me, I'm Darren Logston, born and raised here all my life, married to the beautiful Cheryl Pyramid, and I have to say that because her father-in-law is sitting over here to my right, so no, I wouldn't have it any other way. I'm with Wilson & Muir Bank. I'm a vice president and branch manager at the Vine Grove office, which is just our neighboring city here, very small community. I got lots of small business clients. I've been lending money to small business for about 23 years, so I've seen a lot. And as he said, many times when they come in, they know what they want, but we have to work together to figure out what that plan is, how we want to get there, and then, you know, which of these products are going to work best for you. So today, I knew that we'd all probably touch on something the same, and we did. But I just want to say the small business, I think that's the staple to our community. A lot of times, it's not just the store you go in to purchase merchandise or buy a car, get a haircut, whatever that may be. You'll find that owner is going to turn around and be your child's sports coach in your local programs, or you know, they might be your employer, important active member in your church. So, you know, their success is totally relied upon the success of their community, which they put their lives in. So, I just think that all these things boil down to what he said. Their passion sometimes gets in the way of what they see. Today I want to share with you and give you a resource. We work with Small Business Administration. It's a government-funded program that will give the bank a guarantee of a portion of your loan, and that also lowers our risk of the bank to make you that loan to either start up a business or have some growth in that business. So right here in Elizabethtown, we have a place called the Small Business Development Center. It's free, and I'll just tell you a few of the things they do, because a lot of people hear that term and they think it's just to open a new business, so it's not. They do provide help for entrepreneurs to make informed business decisions when planning to make a new business, purchase an existing business, or expand. But here's something that a lot of people don't. They offer a lot of training workshops, and they'll provide you with information on how to grow, how fast to grow. And they also have significant experience as business owners and or managers, and the track record of different types of businesses. So they have a lot of information out there that can help you with what he talked about, the demand for the product that you're trying to put out there. So the best thing about this is it's free. So I will give you the website address and the telephone number. The website address is ksbdc.org, and the phone number for the Elizabethtown office is 270-765-6737. They have special programs for veterans. They offer better, higher levels of risk, guarantees for the banks. And then they also have for minorities, owner-owned businesses. So I just want to tell you, I graduated in banking, not public speaking, so I apologize for any ifs and so's and all extra stuff. So I do want to appreciate y'all letting us come out and talk to you guys. Appreciate you letting us be a part of your community and a part of your story. So thank you guys.
So I'm sure every one of you woke up this morning and said, I want to go listen to 5 bankers talk, huh? My wife doesn't even want to hear me talk half the time when I get home. I'm Grant Simpson. I'm from Citizens Union Bank. Actually from the Louisville market. I'm filling in for April. April had a commitment. She's out of E-Town that she couldn't get out of. So we, as he said, James and Darren, we kind of hit on some of the same topics. Bankers, we like spreadsheets, we like numbers. And I'll kind of maybe further clarify on what you all said, if that's okay, from what I see. James is perfect. CPA and attorney, you need good ones. Sometimes we start a business, it's cost prohibitive, I understand that. But when the IRS comes or the attorneys comes, guess who's going to help defend you? It's those 2 people right there. So clear, concise financials and a good attorney. Doesn't have to be the most expensive, but they need to know what they're doing. If you find that you don't feel comfortable with maybe the direction they're leading, or the opposite, they're not communicating with you at all, I would behoove you to start looking for another CPA. We can't legally recommend CPAs with lender liability, but we can, go around the system a little bit and say, hey, maybe you need to just look somewhere else. One of the other things that the SBDC is free. I don't know if has everybody heard of that, Small Business Development Center? If you have a business and you want to take it to the next level, you want to do something like that's a great resource. Reason being is they will sit down and work your business plan, help you with your expenses, because a lot of problems that I see, I've been doing this for about 20 years, is you get someone that's very passionate, like he talked about, and they start their business, they start doing really well. Well, they have this misconception sometimes that top line revenue, and this sort of CPA, what James will, means great bottom line revenue, right? You make a lot of sales, you're going to make a lot of money. No. It can be the opposite. There's a lot of things that can go in effect. Cost of goods, that type thing. Again, like I said, we've hit on a lot of topics. One thing that I want to touch on, and I think we talked about it briefly this morning, was cybersecurity. Our bank is big into cybersecurity. Small businesses are getting hit left and right with all kinds of ransomware, hacks, keystroke logging. Does everyone know what that is? They will literally, it's risen 23% in the last year in small businesses. They will actually get into your system, whether it's a Staples, Office Depot, Invoice, something of that nature, and they'll watch. They're going to watch when you do payroll. They're going to watch when you do any of your stuff, your bill pays, and then they're just going to come in and take over. It wasn't our customer, so don't mistake. We had a customer that came to us because this happened. They lost $500,000. And it's public knowledge, and I'll tell you, it was Edwards Moving and Storage. I don't know if you guys are familiar with them. They move houses. Office Depot, a hacker sent them an invoice. Someone in the county clicked on it. It was normal operations, what they do for business. They watched them for almost a year. Didn't do anything. Didn't do a thing. They knew every account, every checking account, when they paid bills, who they paid bills to. And then right before their largest payroll of the year, their bonuses and everything else, they went in and changed the account numbers where the money was going to be electronically transferred to. They lost $500,000. So that's one thing you really need to concentrate on. To piggyback that, and again, I'm not here trying to scare you, I'm just telling you this is how the world we're operating in, is your business cybersecurity insurance. If you haven't sat down with your insurance agent, are there insurance agents in here? There you go, free plug right there you go. Cybersecurity insurance is something you definitely need to look into, because a lot of things that you might think are covered in your cyber policy, or even if you have one, are not covered. So I would recommend sit down with your insurance agent if you have an online presence, or even just use the internet daily, and I could talk 45 minutes on this. That's something you need to do. Last thing, like we talked about, is the plan. I'm in the Guard now. I've been in 25 years. I was active duty Army. Don't matter about yell at me. I switched over to the Air Force after about 8 years after the infantry. I'm sorry. I got spoiled. I like hotel rooms. I like my air conditioning. But you got to have a plan. And if you fail to plan, you plan to fail. Okay. So what that means is you're going to have a 1 year, a 2 year, a 3 year, a 5 year strategic plan. And if you think that's stagnant and it stays the same, then you need to rethink that all over again. Coca-Cola has been around for what, 150 years? How many times have they changed their product? Some of them not good, Clear Coke or whatever it was when we were kids, but Coca-Cola has always evolved and always changed. So with your business, if you're not identifying what the changing marketplace, the business environment, even your demographic, Radcliffe with Fort Knox, up, down, all kinds of things, those are the things you need to take in consideration. So I'm done. Sorry.
Hello, everybody. I'm Eric Whalen. I am the Assistant Vice President and Branch Manager over at West Point Bank, across the street here in Radcliffe. I think that, they've all been great points, obviously. These are all things that we look for whenever we're thinking about, approving these loans and things like that. But anybody up here can make a good loan. It's not a difficult thing to make a loan that's got all the boxes checked. People that come see me, oftentimes have problems with cash flows or different things, and I think that where we try to, be considerate and kind of understand the situation and what's going on in their business, we want to try and help you. We want to try to help you through these things. And a big part of that comes at a very early step in your business, in that, establishing a relationship with someone, with a banker, with somebody that, can help you out in the future. A lot of times today, everything's online. You don't have to come see me at the bank. You can do everything online. You can transfer your money. You can get your money, whatever you like to do. But then when it comes time for you to need a bit of an expansion loan so that you can maybe buy a new product or do something else, you're going to walk into my office. And I don't, I can see what you've done on the internet, but maybe if I've never shaken your hand, or if I've never, put, eyes to face there, that could affect, our relationship. So I think it is important that, we continue to get FaceTime with you. We want to know you. We want to know about your business, know about the things that you're doing. Obviously, using our services, checking accounts and different things like that. But I can't stress enough that, I think a lot of this, especially early on, is a lot of relationship. I mean, it's a lot about, kind of knowing your business and doing things like that. So obviously, once you get set up and you're, you do need your CPAs and your attorneys and everything like that. But from a much, more beginner basis, I do think it's important that, we kind of set up those relationships. And that's why we're here. That's why we're local. We want to see you. We want to hear from you. We want to, bank with you. And I think that's pretty much all I got. Is I think it's just important that we, keep it on a personal level, because we do. I see you every day. I see all you people in our community, and we want to be able to help you out. So I guess that's all I got.
My name is Ray Springsteen. I'm President and CEO of Fort Knox Federal Credit Union. So I have not lived in Kentucky all my life. Actually, I've lived north of Boston. I lived outside of New York City, and I lived in the Washington, D.C. area for a really long time. But I've been in Kentucky for 10 years. And I would make a case, and I would make the case that this is one of the best communities that I've ever lived in for small business. Certainly the markets are different, but and I think there are three reasons for it. The first is, and I think what just makes Kentucky such an amazing place to live, is just the power of the network, right? In Kentucky, we actually care about each other, right? That matters a lot. And when you think about this, right, the power of the network, I think about a couple weeks ago, the credit union ran an event at our main office where we called it the Veterans to Entrepreneurs Program. What that was is there were 35 to 40 veterans or active duty military that came in, And they were able to interact with each other, but then also with other veterans who had started businesses, with the Small Business Development Corporation, with other leaders in the community, really to help them learn about how to make sure they get their business off the ground. How do they improve themselves? And then could you imagine doing that in cutthroat New York City, right? I mean, I think the fact is that this is what makes our community such a great place to have a small business. And I think for all of us trying to do that, right, develop that network. You know, we have some great resources right here, including in the Knox Regional Development Alliance, right? If you're trying to make some connections with a community, it's a great place to go. Or the KCMA, there are lots of other organizations that help you understand that. You know, one of the things I thought was neat about the event we had 2 weeks ago, it was, one of the speakers was, he had spent 28 years in the military. He retired, started a small business, and then he happened to get loans from the credit, but he came back and he told his story, right? He's been incredibly successful in talking about his small business and sharing his ideas. So I think that in particular is what makes this community such a great place to have small business. I think the second is, we've all seen the articles, Hardin County is growing, right? You know, there is some really good data from the University of Louisville. You just have to Google it. But it really gives you a good sense of growth in our community over the next 20 years, expected growth, and demographic data. That's a great place to be. Right? There's a lot of places in Kentucky where that could be a lot harder. You're doing this, and Hardin County in particular is an amazing place for that. And I think third is just the community itself. Right? We're a diverse community. Right? We have some incredible organizations, again, obviously with the military in the north part of the county, and then industrial park in the south part of the county, and then just the growth of the community, I think, is pretty incredible. Yeah, I think also is we're investing in each other. Yeah, the one thing the credit union is doing is we are investing in financial education in schools. Last year, we provided financial education for 800 fifth graders. What we did, again, I think everyone needs this. What we did in this case is we had fifth graders take a test, right? What they knew about financial education. We gave them a 6-week course. At the end of that 6-week course, they had increased that score around just basic financial education by 36 percentage points. Next year, the credit union, along with all other credit unions in the state, is paying for financial education for every 10th grader in public high schools for the next 3 years. Again, these are things. And I think you think for who you're going to hire in the future. Right? So we want to be investing in each other. And I think that's in particular just what makes this community such a great place to have a small business, and then having all these excellent bankers and one credit union here to do it as well. So thanks a lot. Thank you.
It's going to be very few times in life that you have this much knowledge and experience in front of you, so it's question and answer time. This will be a little logistically awkward, but I'll try to handle the mic. Have any questions out there? Very shorthand. We have one directed to somebody?
No, that's not Mr.
Okay, here we go.
So, and you talked about the relationship building, and I'll tell you for a fact, that's absolutely critical in a place like this. I talk to people who come to see us, they're so lost with the credit union, it's unbelievable. They absolutely are. They wouldn't work with me like that. So, I knew that 32 or 3 years ago when I got in business. I started working with West Point Bank. Eric was only 6 years old at the time. He wasn't there. There was a guy named Joe Leon, a farmer. I'm not a farmer. I was a soldier. So I got along great with Joe complicated with some of the lenders, but I promise you this, when we went to see Eric, 10 days later, it was done. That's the attitude that we have to have. With all of us working together, that's how we have to figure out how to work. Rather than get too hung up on the details, there's a high level of trust between guys like Eric and his institution and credit union and some of the others. And I know for a fact that I worked with that years ago. I got in time, frankly, that was 35 years ago. I tried to borrow some money to do a subdivision. Got in time, you were only probably 7 or 8 years ago. So I can't hold you responsible for that. But anyway, to make a long story short, I believe that relationship building is a critical step. Eric told me, you got to know these people. You got to know what their dream is. You got to buy into the dream with them. You got to help them. You got to help them win. When you do that, obviously the bank is going to be good. So that's just one way.
I'm not often the sharpest tool in the shed, but was there a question in there anywhere? and then the other four, you're just going to sit there and take that kind of beating talking to Eric like that? Somebody's got to rise up here.
I want to know how old Terry is. He's done got me questions.
Yeah, well, he knows the age of it. Yeah.
Pam, I wasn't alive whenever he was doing that. I wasn't even around.
He starts naming their age, they start to get nervous.